He's Justin Hartley, the actor in This Is Us and a Bad Mom's Christmas. Just recently married, brought his wife in here, went into the photo booth, doing all the cute things that you do when you get married.
Man, it's fun stuff.
Honeymoon?
So because we're filming the show, we're like in mid-production right now. We didn't really have time to do a honeymoon yet, so we're going to do it a little bit later after we go on hiatus.
How'd you get engaged?
So it's a great question. I hope this isn't disappointing you, but we're very lucky. We get the opportunity to sort of travel and go places and things like that. And one of the things I kind of didn't want to do was do a destination proposal and that kind of thing. I don't know why. I wanted to have it like an intimate moment. And so I decided to do it at home. And I was like, oh, I'm going to ask her to marry me today. I was pretty sure I knew that she was going to say yes. So it wasn't like I was like, that wasn't stressing me out. I kind of knew where I stood.
You didn't have a plan B.
Didn't have a plan B.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I was gonna ask her, and then I'm like, hey, and then she leaves, and she's like, I gotta walk the dog. The dog's gotta go to the bathroom. So she walks the dog. She comes back, and I had bought her this ring about a year earlier, really delicate sort of gold ring that she loved, and it broke, and so it was my job to sort of get it fixed.
So by delicate, it meant cheap.
Cheap. Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, not cheap. She's rowdy. She's like, yeah, man. She's not. She goes out there. So it broke, and it was my job to fix it. And so I told her I'd fixed it, and I gave her the box, and I said I fixed your ring, and she's okay, fine. I kind of turned around, and she turns around, she opens it up, and she looks at it, and the ring's broken still, and she's like, babe, I don't know how to tell you this, and she turns around, I'm on a knee. With the ring. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Still haven't gotten the ring fixed though.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's fine now. I figure,
okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that's a solid story.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
So I got a surprise in there, even though she knew it was coming. I tried to work in.
Does she know if you're acting at home?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a good actor. Like I'm not. No, I can't. Like, and that's my whole thing. I've realized, early on in my career, I was like, I need to be a good actor. Like that's what I want to do. I want to be an actor. I need to be a really good actor. And then I realized as I got older, I was like, so the key to that, having an acting career, is not to not act. Really, you know what I mean? And so when I'm acting, you'll be able to tell. Yeah.
Okay.
Look at my earlier work. It's horrendous. Dan, it's
how okay, but how did you get this job on This Is Us? I mean, this has been one of the biggest surprises in network TV in recent history.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it was actually one of the most painless sort of processes I've been through. I went in, so I got this script, and I read it. My friend said, "You know Dan Fogelman?" And I said, yeah, I know Dan Fogelman. He goes, how long have you known him? I said, well, I don't know him. I know of him. I know who Dan Fogelman is. And he's like, I just read this script. I think he just wrote you. And I go, what are you talking about? I've never met the guy really. And I read this script, and I got to the end of it, and I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever read. I got to figure out a way to get into this room. So I called my agent. He got me into the room. It was a standard audition. And they called me back. I had one more on tape, and then I guess they watched it at the network, and that was it. It was really painless.
But what's your strategy when you go in there? Because everybody wants to be an actor, but put us in the room when you know that your future, I mean, there's a lot that rides on
You're
that.
right. No, you're right. And you try not to think about that. I guess it's like sort of a pressure situation, kind of in a big, like a bowl game or a Super Bowl or something like that, when it's all on you, and you try not to, or at least for me, you try not to think about that, because that, for me, again, can take you out of it and sort of take away from the things that you know how to do. And so I try to just make it like an intimate one-on-one conversation, and try to just sort of, it sounds kind of cheesy, but I really try to just, as much as I can, be in that moment of whatever it is I say I'm doing, just try to do that. Again, not acting, right?
But because of that, you got the Bad Mom's Christmas?
I auditioned for that too, actually. I auditioned for that too, and my clothes stayed on during the audition, and so I got that one legit too, yeah.
But did they know of you from this?
I think so. I mean, okay. I think so. I think that.
I mean, I don't want to take anything away from your audition there. But
I think you're right. I think I got the opportunity probably because of This Is Us. Yeah.
But then you do take Fritzy said that he went and saw it and saw a lot of you.
Did you? Yeah.
Ty Swindell, yeah.
Did you? Ty Swindell.
And then when you were moonlighting as a stripper or something.
That's right. Fireman moonlighting as a stripper. Which,
I was probably watching all too closely.
Yeah. No, it was funny. That whole thing, when I read the script, I was like, Ty Swindle. All right, the guy's name is Ty Swindle. That's good. It's always good when your character has a first and a last name. Then they're invested a little bit more than when it's like, bartender number 3 or whatever.
You got no shot.
No shot. You're done.
Now, do you add the Swindell?
Well, so I called him Ty Swindle, and one of the directors came over to me. He's like, no, you know what I think it is? He goes, I think it's Swindell.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, of course it is. It has to be Swindell. Ty Swindell. What else could it be?
And you're working with Kathryn Hahn.
Amazing.
So she's so funny, but then to go, I don't know how it is when you're with somebody that if you just look at their face, you laugh sometimes. You know, Will Ferrell makes me laugh, even if he doesn't, or Bill Murray.
Absolutely.
And Kathryn Hahn is one of those brilliant performers.
I couldn't agree more. Almost when you're saying your line and you're just looking at their reaction and it's almost not a reaction, but you just start laughing because she's so funny. And the little things that, like the ad-libs that come out of her mouth, it's ridiculous.
She's quick.
She's really quick. And I love ad-libbing. And we did this scene where, well, Fritzy, where the introduction.
Sure.
Where she's at work and I'm her client and I have to get certain man region waxed. Yeah. And I go in there and they get what they want and they figure it all out and they go, well, we have a few extra minutes. Why don't you guys just go crazy? Go nuts, if you will. And
whoa.
Yeah. And
literally.
and I was like, okay. And so we did one take where it was just complete ad lib, whatever. They come in, they call cut. And I'm like, okay, so I guess we're done. And they're like, no, the camera overheated. You guys were going for like 8 minutes or something like that. It seemed like 2 seconds. I was like, 8 minutes? I felt pretty good about that.
But you were allowed to ad lib?
Yeah, no, they encouraged it, yeah.
Because that could be dangerous sometimes when you're with somebody who's a professional comedian.
Yeah. Honestly, it was easier. It was easier.
It was?
Yeah,
okay.
Because I feel like when you're with someone who... Because she knows how to feed lines and stuff like that, too. So she's good all around. I mean, she's fantastic.
He's Justin Hartley. The show is This Is Us, Tuesdays at 9 on NBC. And the new movie, A Bad Mom's Christmas, now in theaters. I saw where you're a Cubs and Dodger fan.
I'm a Dodger fan.
Okay.
I'm from Chicago. I'm a Dodger fan.
So were you a Cubs fan before you went and sold out and went to Los Angeles?
No. I was a Dodger fan ever since I was a kid. My dad took us to spring training when they were in Florida back in the day.
Vero Beach?
Yep. And I've got pictures of Steve Yeager, Steve Garvey, Oral Hershiser, Tommy Lasorda, like holding me like when I was a kid.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So now I go to the games and I see, like, Garvey's still there. Yeah. His hair is still magnificent.
Oh, perfect, right?
Perfect. And I'm like, wow. And I'm trying to find that photo because one of these days I'm going to, like...
Oh, you have to.
Look at this. That's you and me.
Because everything that Garvey does, like, he could be an actor.
Yeah.
He would be one of those matinee idols back in the 50s.
Yeah.
He would be, Gregory Peck or somebody like that. But where he just, every time he turns, like he turns as if there's a camera waiting to get a picture of him. And those forearms are so big and his hair is always perfect.
Perfect. Yeah.
It just piercing eyes. He's got it all there.
Yeah.
Who did you work with? Who kind of made you nervous? Have you had one of those moments in acting yet?
You know what? I've had a few. Sly made me nervous just because of who he is. Sylvester Stallone made me a little nervous just because of who he is. And he did an episode of our show.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is about that guy is he immediately, so you're nervous when he walks in, you're like, oh my God, that's Sylvester Stallone. And then within like 3 seconds, you're like hanging out with a guy. He's just like a normal, it's unbelievable how he's able to do that.
But do you want to ask Rocky questions?
Yeah, and he'll answer them.
Oh, he will?
Oh, totally, yeah. Yeah, no, he'll talk about, he's great. Yeah, he'll talk about all that stuff. He's great.
Did you want to punch him?
No, but I wanted him to punch me.
Oh, you did?
I was just like, punch me in the face. And I met Carl Weathers a few years ago. No, last year. And the weirdest thing happened where I'm at this, you do these press tours for the show when it comes out. All these, you're going to all these interviews. And it's a whirlwind. And all of a sudden, this guy walks up to me and he goes, man, I got to tell you something. And it was Apollo Creed. And I'm like, what in the heck is happening to my life right now? I wanted to say, man, I'm such a big fan. Congratulations. Oh, this is great. I'm so happy to meet you. Can I get a photo? And I said, oh man, I want to punch me in the face. And then I was like, let me take that back. I'm so sorry. That's what I said to Carl Weathers. Punch me in the face. What am I doing?
When did you know that, like, things had changed in your life? Moment on the street or?
Yeah, you know, what happens with our show is we tackle some pretty heavy topics, and Ryan Leaf is a friend. And my character is going through this really heavy storyline right now where he's mental illness, and he's got an addiction problem and all that kind of stuff. He's kind of like on an island. And so I talked to Ryan Leaf about that, and he's very open. You've had him on the show.
Yeah.
He's fantastic to be around. He's inspirational, really. And getting back to your question, when I'm on the streets and people come up to me and they tell me their personal stories, these are strangers, Dan, that will say these personal stories about their family, these intimate details, and it's the show that makes them sort of, divulge that to a stranger. And it's just, I mean, it's more, I don't even know what to say about that. It's so moving and just, it's beyond. It's really like hard to explain what that feels like.
But were you trying, do you talk to Ryan, were you trying to tap into what am I going to feel, or what is the addiction all about?
I asked him, well, the first thing I asked him was, can I talk to you about it? And would you be willing to? And he said, of course, yeah, sure. Like I said, we're friends. And then I asked him, I did one further, and I asked him if he could come in and talk to the writers. Because we have the most amazing writers. They are so creative, and I think they're the best in the business. But it's a room full of creative people, right? And so you get a room full of big brain, creative people that are smart and funny, and God knows what you're going to end up with, right? Because these are brilliant people. So I wanted to make sure that we all were on the same page and had like what this was all about, and who better to speak about that than Ryan, cool. Someone who's turned it all around. So
he's a big time star now. Who knows if we get him back on, Yeah, This Is Us, Bad Moms Christmas. He's Justin Hartley. Congrats on the marriage.
Thanks, man.
And we'd love to see you when we're in Los Angeles.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be nice. And if you would maybe come in and wear the towle just for Fritzy's sake.
Man, I
appreciate that.
I'm a fan of yours. I'll wear the towel for you. Sure. You got it. No problem.
How about that, Fritzy? How about it's a date? No, there's no date.
It's not a date.
No, that's creepy.
I was being a little presumptuous. Just like, we'll hang out.
Stop. No, stop.
We could do dinner.
No, stop. Let's take a break.
Like a lunch.
I'm going to let you get a hug from Justin before he leaves, all right?
I may ask for a picture, too, because my wife and my mom and my sister
there we go.
I have to
all
do
right.
that.
All right. Okay. Usually it's somebody's girlfriend or wife, but he wants one with you.
That's amazing.
Justin, could you take off your shirt for him? Justin Hartley.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.